chance that Quentin could play tomorrow's game. What has it been like trying to have practices without Quentin and the other various people that have bumps and bruises here in the early going?
I think the biggest difference is just the amount of bodies we have for practice. Like, you notice when, like, especially when Zach was out and then, like, some walk-ons sometimes can't practice. It's like drills we do, you have less time to sit out, so you get more tired. But then as far as, like, Q in particular, I just think, like, his leadership and experience will make the biggest difference just because, he's been here, he's played here, and he just knows, like, what to expect. And so he has a unique perspective just as far as, like, leadership on the court.
Speaking of leadership, you came to Xavier for your grad transfer year and were quickly voted as a team captain. What does that mean to you, and were you surprised when that happened?
I mean, it means a lot to me just because it was like a player vote. So it made me feel like, my teammates, valued how hard I worked and, like, the way I treated them when I first got here, which is something that I definitely focused on when I came here. For me, being a leader and, like, a captain is something that I've always, like, wanted to be. I was a captain at Columbia. I was captain, like, in high school. So, it's something that I always, when I get to a new place, like, want to establish myself as being a leader that people can look up to and see how hard I work and just, like, can come to me, even whether it be basketball or non-basketball topics. So it was something that I really was appreciative of.
From game 1 to game 2, you guys obviously want to continue and take steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, what's kind of on that list for you? What would you like to see the team kind of do better in the second game?
I think something we've really been focusing on in practice is, like, executing offensively. We felt like last game we as a team, took some rush shots in some possessions, didn't get some shots because, certain guys might have didn't execute the plays that we were supposed to run. So we really been focusing on execution on the offensive end. And then on the defensive end, just, like, little stuff, not fouling. If someone does get in the paint, walling up instead of fouling, just doing the fundamental stuff that we practice every day.
With such a new group, how long do you think it'll take for you guys to feel very natural together?
I think it definitely won't happen until, like, Q's back, just because, obviously when he does get back, he's going to play a good amount as well. And so then the rotation will change again just because of how much he'll play versus other guys' minutes. So I think once everyone is healthy, it'll definitely take, some games because obviously playing in the games together is different from practice. Like, in practice, we mix up the teams. So even in practice, we aren't really necessarily practicing, like, starting five and the guys coming off the bench. So I think the more reps we get with the people we'll be on the court with the most, everyone will come, like, just naturally gel more. Yeah.
I think, coming into this season, a lot of the talk was about, they only have 5 guys back. They got a lot of new guys.
Mm-hmm.
The jury's kind of still out on who they're going to be and what they're going to look like.
Yeah.
It just so happens that in the season opener, the second half when you guys need to put something together and really kind of start to pull away, it's yourself and Ryan Welledge, 2 of the grad transfers that kind of light that spark. And were you surprised that it happened in game 1? I mean, I think obviously you would have liked to make an impact at some point this year, but for 2 of the new guys to come out in the first game and get it done, what do you think about that?
Honestly, it didn't surprise me just as far as, like, it being grad transfers, just because of, like, experience and knowing, like, being in games where you're down and got to come back. So, like, Ryan and I have both played college basketball and know, like, the ups and downs of games. So I don't think it surprised me in that sense. I think it might have surprised, like, the fans just because, I think, like you said, there was so much up in the air, like, who's going to step up in different ways this year. A lot was lost from last season. So I think that surprised them, but I think also it was good just for the fans to see that, like, some of the new guys can help, moving forward for this season, and that mixing in with the guys who do have experience from last season, we can have a really good season just as long as we continue to improve with one another.
Do you know anything about Evansville yet?
No, so I know they played their first game last night against Illinois. I think they lost by like 39, I think. Yeah, so I think I saw a stat like Illinois scored like 50 points in the paint or something like that. So one of our offensive emphasis has been getting the ball inside, and so I'm sure that'll definitely be an emphasis for the game tomorrow. But besides that, we haven't watched much film because their game was last night, but I'm sure we will today. Yeah.